But first today, the Turkish government's decision to shoot down a Russian warplane has sparked a new crisis in the Middle East. It's the first time a NATO member country has downed a Russian plane since the Cold War. Russia's political leaders are now warning of serious consequences and reject the Turkish claim that the plane violated Turkey's airspace. Anne Barker has the latest.
The doomed warplane was captured by Turkish cameramen as it plummeted to the ground, a thick plume of smoke behind it. Both pilots ejected before the plane crashed in a ball of fire, although it appears one, if not both pilots are dead. The plane landed inside the Syrian border, but Turkey claimed it had violated its airspace several times.
Aidiyeti bilinmeyen bir uçağın
An unidentified plane was warned 10 times in 5 minutes before it entered our airspace because it was coming towards our borders, said Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan.
uyarılmasına rağmen
Despite the warnings, unfortunately, it insisted on violating our airspace. Following that, after the intervention by our F-16 jets, this plane was shot down.
yapılan
But Russia insists the plane never entered Turkish airspace, and its General Staff official Sergei Rutskoy says even Syrian air defence data proves the plane was in Syrian airspace at all times.
Никаких попыток
Objective control data didn't document any attempts of the Turkish plane to get in touch or to establish visual contact with our crew, he said. The missile hit the jet on Syrian territory. The plane crash site is located in Syrian territory 4 kilometres from the border.
контроля не зафиксировано.
It's arguably the most serious clash between Russia and its former Cold War enemy in decades. Just 2 weeks ago, President Erdogan and Russian President Vladimir Putin were seen smiling and chatting amicably at the G20 summit in Ankara. Now the Russian president is accusing the Turkish leader of a stab in the back.
Но мы никогда не потерпим, чтобы
We'll never tolerate such atrocities as happened today, he said.
большая денежная
Of course, we'll analyse in detail everything that's happened, and today's tragic event will have significant consequences for the relations between Russia and Turkey. It's the first time, too, a NATO member country has shot down a Russian plane in half a century, and it's created an unexpected crisis in the conflict over Syria. Russia has repeatedly claimed its airstrikes in Syria were targeting Islamic State, but there's no ISIS presence in the area where the plane came down.
orada sadece bayır bucak Türkmenleri vardır.
Only Bayir Butchak Turkmens, our relatives' brothers, live there, said Turkish President Erdogan. The Russians say they're targeting Islamic State, but instead they're targeting Bayir Butchak Turkmens.
Türkmenleri vurulmaktadır.
The Turkmen at Bayir Butchak are Syrians of Turkish descent who faced persecution from Bashar al-Assad's forces and who've had some support from Turkey to join the rebel opposition. One Turkmen commander, Alparslan Çelik, claims the plane was shot down after it had dropped a bomb on the Turkmen's terrain.
Bomba yüklü attığı bombadan sonra Türk tarafından
It was filled with bombs, he said. Turkish planes, Turkey brought down the Russian plane after it had dropped a bomb. Was it shot down after the first bomb? He was asked. Yes, he said. After it bombed our region and violated the Turkish border, it was bombed by Turkey.
daha düşmeyecek.
The Turkmen leader claims his forces shot both pilots dead, one of them as he parachuted to the ground. If the Russian claims are true, that the plane was indeed inside Syrian airspace, the incident would mark a dangerous escalation in the conflict, with Turkey actively entering the war. NATO has called an emergency meeting, although its Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg says NATO stands by Turkey.
The information we have from other allies is consistent with what we have got from Turkey.
Australia's Foreign Minister Julie Bishop says the shooting down of the plane is a very serious incident that requires investigation.
We urge both sides to exercise restraint and that there not be any military retaliation. Clearly there must be an investigation as to what occurred. There are differing versions at present, so we need a clear, precise analysis of the facts, and that can only come through an investigation.
That's Australia's Foreign Minister Julie Bishop, ending that report by Anne Barker.